Oh my gosh, I just panicked. Hi, my name is Emma Brown. I'm a sophomore horn performance major at Michigan State University and a Spanish minor. And this is the beginning of my December 2020 video diary. It's currently Tuesday, December 1st, and this is the first entry, and I don't know why, but I always get scared doing first entries. So basically, the reason I'm doing this is I grew up hearing about my great-grandmother's diary and what a cool thing it was to look back on, and that even after her death, my family used it as like a reference point for deaths, birthdays, large events in their town, and that it was also just like a cool record of her life. And so I have always wanted to keep a diary, but I'm horrible about sitting down and writing stuff out because I always remember thinking it's just so much easier to say stuff. Wish I could just say what I'm thinking. And then I got into video editing, which I'm not great at, but I enjoy. So in July, I started having this idea in the back of my head that, you know, it would be really cool. Not cool like, oh cool, awesome, but like interesting to have a record of this time. I wasn't enjoying the pandemic. I want to be clear. Cool to record leading up to going back to school and what being at school would be like in a pandemic for a music student, because at that point I thought that I was going to go back to Michigan State. That didn't happen. I'm currently living in my parents' house. This is my childhood bedroom. My dog is here. Do you have anything you want to say? No, he's very sleepy. So yeah, but I have been recording this whole time. So yeah, really I want a record to look back on. And this is the way that I've chosen to do it, and it's working so far. So I'm gonna keep doing it. There's a better explanation of that in the first couple minutes of my July-August video diary, so if you haven't seen that one, go look at it. What a blast from the past. I'm really only recording today because it's the 1st of December, and I do this on a monthly basis, so it's the first day of the month, gotta do an entry kind of thing. The only significant thing that happened today was I applied for a position with the International Horn Society's Student Advisory Council or Committee. Oh shoot, I forget what it was called. Committee. So it's basically a group of young horn players, high school or college horn students. It's monthly meetings, and everything is kind of vague about it so far, but I'm hoping that it will be, you know, something nice to do. That's the only thing I did. Well, not the only thing I did today, but the only thing unusual that's happened today. So yeah, they said that they are going to contact me soon, so we will see about that. I have nothing else to say. Maybe that's okay that this first entry is short, because the first entries usually end up being like years long, and it's kind of ridiculous. Oh, I know what else I thought of today that I haven't told anybody yet, so I'm gonna tell you. I got this sweater for my 20th birthday, which was last Thursday, so I've been 20 for almost a week now. It's the first time I'm wearing this sweater, and I was like, this like ribbed stuff right here, I was like, I can't I just like for some reason kept thinking of like, I must have seen like a pop musician have like a winged kind of thing, or like a shoulder pad that had this like, I don't know, I just couldn't place it. And then I realized that it was my high school marching uniform that I was recognizing. Here's a picture of that. I need to spit out. I'm holding my gum in my hand right now. So, I can't really find a good picture of what I'm talking about. So here is a small detail from a, I kid you not, a life-size printed out picture of me in my marching uniform that I have, yeah, you can kind of see the lines there. So maybe I should explain the full size. Nah, just nah. It just yep. Okay. Here's me from December. Bye. Very stylish. Wow. I like this sweater just as much, but I thought that was funny that I recognized the feature, but actually it's not funny. I shouldn't even put this in, but I'm going to, because I found it amusing. So, okay, I have a boatload of Spanish homework to do, so, Buddy's gonna help me. You're gonna help me. He's not gonna, he's asleep. If you'd like more Buddy content, he's in the last entry in my October video diary because it was the 10th anniversary of us getting him. So look at that when you have time. Okay, I think that's about it. Oh, I did want to say that I am going back to campus, as far as I know currently, in early January of 2021, which hopefully will be a little bit better of a year. So I'm anticipating that a lot of this diary is going to be about that, because there are only 2 weeks left of school, and then there's exam week, but I don't have a ton of exams. So, okay. Goodbye. Hi, it is Sunday, December 6th. No, it's not. It's Saturday, December 5th. I probably should have done this update like 2 days ago and then also yesterday, but I decided that I didn't want to do it. But then today I had a change of heart that I should probably record this, since this is about being a musician and a music student in a pandemic, and this involves that part of my life. This lighting is bad. Wow, so much better. So, I am so ready for the semester to be over. I can't think of a time where I have needed a break more. I just am so like discouraged and I want it to be done, and it feels like everyone is piling on so much work and such high expectations, and there's just so much pressure. And I think that part of it is I'm just not blowing off steam as much as I would be when I was at school, because I remember people like talking about how they were really stressed about exams, and I was like, I mean, I'm stressed, I'm concerned, but I'm not like about to throw up about it. Or I don't think I cried about my first finals as a freshman. I don't think that the pressure was that much, and I like tend to deal with pressure by crying. Shouldn't have put that on the internet, but I did. Although, you know, it's frustrating for me. This is very tangenty. I meant to say this in like half of the time that this is taken, but here we go. I hate that that's how I deal with pressure, because that's also how I deal with confrontation sometimes. And it's super frustrating to have like valid arguments or points and be unable to say them because you're sobbing. But anyways, oh my gosh, I'm so like panic stricken all the time, and I'm afraid to do something besides school. And I've always had a really unhealthy relationship with work, but this is like to a new level. It's awful. I just want it to be done. Even if I could have a morning where I didn't have to get up. I mean, like my classes start at 9:10, so I get up at 9:05. But if I could sleep past that, because I get up and I'm super sleepy through my like 1 or 2 morning classes, and then I will take a nap, and I always nap for longer than I want to, and it's an unhealthy, I want to call it a cycle of staying up too late to do work and then napping, and so not doing work, and so staying up to do work, and then I don't know, it's one of those, like, you know, I recognize this is super unhealthy, but I feel like I have no power to fix or affect it, which is super frustrating. I'm so frustrated with myself all the time. I really do think a large part of it is because I'm not seeing people, and I'm not blowing off steam, and I'm not like, you know, I don't know, like I miss having dinner and having like a rotation of musicians like just come in and joke and eat with you. Because like I used to sit down with like 2 or 3 people, and then it would expand into 5, and then some people would leave, and then more people would come in, and like, and you know, you just like have a good time. And I valued that in the moment, but I think I would value it so much more now, which is, you know, it's a blessing, I guess, to be able to realize just how good you had it and how good you're hopefully going to have it. Like I'm sure that will happen again. I'm sure of it. As long as I survive that long. Said it like a joke. It is kind of a legitimate concern. So, you know, this thing sucks, but at least you know what I'm trying to say. I can't put it into words, I guess. The moon is right there. Oh man, one of my favorite comics I've ever read was, I think it was an XKCD, something like one of my favorite hobbies is countering crazy conspiracy theories with even crazier ones. I just really like it. Yeah, well, and also, you know, there are opportunities to blow off steam, but oh, I was saying that before, kind of. This is all very jumbled and not well thought out. But I, like yesterday, it was yesterday. Yeah, it was either yesterday or Thursday. I was like super stressed about all this stuff I had to do, and I just was like panicking about it, and I had rescheduled my piano lesson to today, so I was really stressed about finding new time in my schedule to practice and like shuffling stuff around while still getting my horn practice done, because I have a horn lesson tomorrow, which I feel moderately prepared for, which is good because it's my last one of the semester. So my dad came into my room and was like, hey, I'm gonna take Buddy for a walk. Buddy is our dog. The corgi, so cute. Oh, here's a picture of him. Oh my gosh, here's another picture of him. Oh, I love him so much. Here's another picture of him. Oh my gosh. But anyways, he came into my room and was like, hey, I'm gonna take Buddy for a walk around the block. And he asked me if I wanted to go, or if I had time to go. And I like sat there and I was like, like figuring out how to say no to him. Because I've said no to a lot of stuff like that. Over these past few months, and while I was in high school. Like, this has been a problem for a long time for me. And he was like, it's 10 minutes, you need a break, you're gonna come with me. I was like, okay. But it was like, it was really refreshing and great to, you know, to do. Yeah, but for some reason I didn't want to do it, because my brain is dumb. It's another comic. I don't know why this is so on my mind today. I think because I was watching his YouTube video. Oh my gosh, there's a hole in this sweatshirt. Oh, so anyways, ice cream sandwich comics. I really enjoy his stuff too, and one of his videos that's really good is I forget what it's called, but it's like, I'm not smart, or I'm like, reasons I'm dumb or something. He's not. He's a very intelligent individual. Key example, his storytelling is super intelligent, and his sound design and his animation is like really simple and effective. It's beautiful artwork and wonderful entertainment. I don't need this sticky note on my desk anymore. So yeah, that's about it. That's where I am mentally. This was really rambling, but it was good to get out of my head and into a video file. Oh, in my first entry, I had like a really bad handle on how much of the school year was left. Classes end on the 11th. So, oh my gosh, 6 days. In 6 days. Classes end in 6 days. So basically today's Saturday, and then there's Sunday, and then there's a week of classes, and then a weekend, and then exam week, and then we're done for good. I also only have 3 exams. My Spanish exam, which is like a 2-part thing, an essay question and a multiple choice question, that I feel pretty good about, and we have like a period of like 3 or 4 days where we can do that kind of thing, so I feel pretty good about that. A theory exam, all I know about that is that it's during finals week, and it covers all of the stuff we've learned, and that is it. I don't know when it is, I don't know how long it is, so that's nice. This lighting is really highlighting like my jowls. I look like this character that I did. That is makeup. This is not. And then I have my piano jury or final exam recording. I'm unsure about which one of those it is, but I have 2 pieces and some scales and some, I don't know, I haven't looked at that one in detail yet, but that's due that week. So really the latest I have something due is the 18th, which is in 12 days. So even if I push everything to the absolute latest date, I still have less than 2 weeks of the school or of the semester to go. No housing news really. I'm just trying to figure out how I want to organize my dorm room, because I'm going to be living there alone, but there will be 2 beds, desks. There's 1 chest of drawers, but there's also like this weird stand thing that maybe comes in the room. It's like a cubby thing. I don't know. It's weird. That is about it. I will talk to you again, I guess. Hopefully. All right. Goodbye. Hello. It is Tuesday, December 8th, and I just thought I would do an update today because I'm not going to do one probably for the rest of this week, because my schedule is so packed. So I had my first like therapy session kind of, but it was mostly information gathering from MSU's like counseling provider, which was good. It went well. I'm excited to continue that. This is going to be super short because I really want to get to some homework. The other reason I wanted to do one today specifically was because the first person to get a COVID vaccine that was not part of an experimental group got one today. Or at least the first person that I know of, and definitely the first person in the UK. And President Biden released a statement. I'm getting this information from an article on the BBC website. The quote is, "Biden vows 100 million vaccinations for the US in the first 100 days of his presidency." Or not the quote, but like that's the big idea and the title of the article. He said his first months in office would not end the outbreak, but he gave a few details on a rollout strategy that he said would change the course of COVID-19. He also, I don't know if I talked about this yet, but he released a statement that said that he would be asking people to mask up for 100 days and wear a mask consistently, all the time you're outside the home for 100 days. And they can't require that, but it's really encouraged, strongly encouraged. And this is a quote from the article. On Tuesday, today, a report paved the way for a Pfizer BioNTech, I don't know how you pronounce that, vaccine to be so I'm not sure where that last one cut out, but I was just saying that the US has recorded more than 15 million cases of COVID-19 so far, and 285,000 deaths. Yeah, so that's basically what is happening. The Trump administration is also hoping to vaccinate, quote, as many as 24 million people by mid-January. So, and then also the interesting thing about the Pfizer vaccine is that they've found that there's 2 doses, and even if you only get the first one, it prevented 89% of the most severe cases, because they're worried about, like, obviously when I get mine I'm gonna get both, but at one point the worry was that people would only get one and think that it would cover them. So even if people only get one, they're less likely to die even if they still get it. And then this article also says the Moderna vaccine has reported similar success, and they're expecting that the FDA will approve it before Christmas, which is an awesome Christmas present. So that's that. I'm super stressed about exams and all the stuff I have due over the next couple days. Yeah, so I'm gonna do some of that before I go to bed. Also, Buddy's here. Do you want to say anything? Nope. All right. Bye. Dude, look at this lighting. I'm still fixing the audio. That's probably fine, actually. Look at that. This looks very artsy. What if we just, like... how are we gonna do that? Okay. Hello. It is Thursday, December 10th. I'm not as busy this week as I thought I was going to be, which is good, but a lot of those assignments have been moved, or like final exams have been moved into next week. So classes end tomorrow, but the actual like work doesn't end as much tomorrow as I was hoping it would. I have to keep this short because my computer is rapidly running out of storage space. Because I'm recording a bunch of stuff for a band project. So basically, we got an email today from President Stanley, and it says there's a flu vaccination requirement, so anyone who's going to be on campus or coming to campus, or any, quote, university-controlled property at any point during the spring semester will be required to have an influenza vaccine, end quote. You have to verify it and before you come to campus in January. More information on that process will be coming soon. Everyone else is encouraged to do it. They're asking us to quarantine as soon as we get to campus in January, which I expected. That will probably mean that we won't have in-person lessons or ensemble until 2 weeks into the semester. So hopefully we stay on campus long enough for that to actually happen. Hopefully people aren't stupid. I've talked about the Spartan Spit program before. I'm already a part of it, although I haven't given them my spit yet. And yeah, so everyone on campus is going to be a part of that. And that testing is going to begin on January 4th. And then basically he ends the email like, hey, check your email over break and don't be stupid and all that stuff. So then it was like an hour later. An hour later we got an email from housing, and that was basically, hey, did you read the email that we sent you an hour ago? Wow. And then they sent the spring moving guide. It's loading. It's 8 pages long. I'm hoping that I can get through it. I should have read this before. So basically, dining halls are going to be grab and go. Mobile ordering will be available. So I think that they are going to roll out, or they already have rolled out, an app for that. And then they have a packing list, and it's basically like masks and cleaning stuff and a thermometer, and then also just normal stuff that you would normally bring. And then just like normal stuff about maintenance requests and the formatting of the rooms. And can I take this off now? Hey! I wasted a sticky note. I could have just waited 3 minutes. Oh well, I'll recycle it. I always recycle my sticky notes, which is something that you can do. You can recycle your sticky notes. I also think that, I don't know if okay, if I have to divide this into 2 parts to tell the story, it's fine. So when I was in elementary school, like I still am very environmentally conscious now, but when I was in elementary school, I had just learned about it. And so I was like super like into it and like reading stuff about it as much as I could. And when I was in 4th grade, I read that you can recycle used Kleenexes. And so I, like, the next time I had a cold, I would like go blow my nose in our like classroom and I would throw it into the recycling bin. And at the end of the day, my 4th grade teacher, who was crazy insane, oh my gosh, she should have been fired. But she got in front of the class with the recycling bin and picked out my dirty Kleenexes with her bare hands and threw them into the trash while lecturing us about like how this is disgusting. We need to respect the recycling system. And so I actually don't know if what I read is true. Let me look it up real quick. Can you recycle? This one says no. Okay, I'm gonna stop recording for like just a second. Hello. It's me several minutes later. Okay, so the reason that I keep having to stop these in the middle is because I run out of storage space, and I have to like clear stuff out before I can record anymore because I was cheap and bought a laptop with like no storage space. Basically, I can't solve that problem. Back to the Kleenex issue. I remember that because it just like is so gross. Okay, so basically what everybody is saying is because there's a possibility that there could be grease on stuff, you shouldn't ever like try to recycle like a used napkin, paper towel, or a Kleenex. So I guess what I had read was wrong. Although, okay, yeah, tissues can definitely be recycled along with the rest of your paper recycling as long as they're unused. Dirty tissues should not be recycled, basically. Okay, but Anyways, disgusting. And this was like way before the pandemic, and I'm viewing it through that lens. But even before the pandemic, I thought that was super gross. I forget why that popped into my head. Anyways, okay, so back to the move-in guide. A lot of it is the same as it was in years past. Okay, so then there's a whole section called COVID-19 Spring 2021 Housing Information. Face covering when not in your closed room, physical distancing, good hygiene. So we're going to be required to complete the MSU health screening every day, which is fine. It's a short form. I've done it before. And then the community compact, which I talked about whenever I signed it. Or did I sign it? I don't know if it was a thing that you signed or you just agreed to by being a person. But anyways, that's still in effect. And then there's just more details about that. There's not like a ton of detail information, and it's also not specific to my residence hall. So, okay. So the other thing I wanted to show, to just like record, I guess, is the, I'm recording a bunch of band excerpts for horn for my band class, for our like final project. And I wanted to show you my really janky, awful recording setup, but it's the best recording setup that I've had so far. Okay, this filing cabinet was vibrating a bunch, so I put this blanket in all of the drawers, and it seemed to stop it from vibrating because my bell was pointing directly this way when I'm playing. So I have this here at my light, which is super bright, but without it, the foreground is really dark, but the background is really light. It's a weird look. Oh, so then this is my microphone setup. It's a sweater held on this shelf, and then the microphone is behind here. That's the whole filming setup. My room is super dirty and disorganized right now, but like, you know, I don't have the time to clean it right now. So that's it. The sweater is the only thing I've found so far that is helpful, so that my fortes and above basically don't peak the microphone. And that's even with the gain on low. It's good. It's not like specific to recording loud brass instruments. That's about it. I should probably get rid of these dishes before I film that B-roll. Okay, I can't wait for classes to end tomorrow and kind of be able to breathe. I think, especially after finals week, I'll be so glad to be done. This semester has been terrible. Yeah. All right. Bye. Hello. It is Tuesday, December 15th, and it is Tuesday of finals week, and it is very cold. So I have like a whole list of stuff that I just wanted to update you on. I've selected my jury piece. It's going to be Mozart for the whole thing. Hopefully we don't have to add any like excerpts or anything to that. I'm pretty excited about that. I don't know. I feel like the sound is not good. Is it better now? I also am just coming off of a 4-day playing break. I did 45 minutes today, and that was partially because of time and partially because I've had very little playing breaks over this semester. I think less than I would in like a normal semester. I think less than I would in a normal semester, just because I'm not aware of how much I'm playing. If that makes sense. Like, I could look at my schedule and be like, oh my gosh, I have a rehearsal and a concert and then a rehearsal today. The next day I should take it easy. Whereas, you know, now it's just like every day is the same. So and it went well, and you know, I'm glad that I did it, and I think it was the right call. I'll be washing my horn soon, giving it a bath. That'll be exciting. Ooh, okay. Big COVID news. So yesterday, Monday, I don't know if it's people got the first vaccines in the US or if the first vaccines in the US shipped out, but they were manufactured in Portage, Michigan, I believe. I saw at least a shipment come out of there on the news, and I have been there, and it's a beautiful city. So good job, Portage, on both cosmetic and scientific achievements. Yeah. Oh, okay. So I kept seeing articles saying that they were advising that people watch for, what is it called? I don't know if I talked about, oh shoot. Okay, I just saw this in my news feed, like that Google gives you on your phone. I forget if I said that there was a hack of the US government allegedly by Russia. They're reporting that they're pretty sure that it was Russia, but they're not sure. So yeah, there was also a hack of Google where all of Google's services stopped working. So Gmail, Google Classroom, YouTube, I believe, stopped working, and it occurred on the same night, and they don't know if it's like a very weird. Anyways, so I'm gonna read this article, skim this man real quick. Yeah, Commerce Department, Department of Homeland Security, the Pentagon, the Treasury Department, and the U.S. Postal Service, and the National Institutes of Health were all hacked. Yeah. So according to news sources, it's under control, but it's a scary thing. And I haven't found anything in the news about the Google hack. I heard it from my mom, and then my brother's high school uses Google Meets instead of like Zoom or Skype or that kind of thing for their like classroom meeting service, kind of is how they video chat. They had to delay the start of school by like only a few minutes, but it was delayed because of this thing that happened. So I don't know. Okay, but anyways, the vaccine thing that I was talking about, they're saying that both the Pfizer and the Moderna vaccines have found that people in their vaccine trials have suffered from Bell's palsy, which is basically, I've read that it can be like a droopy face, or it can be like paralysis of the face muscles, but anywhere that I've read has said it's not as scary as it sounds, and it's the majority of the time very temporary, which is all well and good, but oh my gosh. I mean, I'm still gonna get the vaccine, but it's just a very, yeah, it was like so Pfizer's trial had 4 cases of Bell's palsy out of some 43,000 participants. I don't think that that's a reason to not get the vaccine at all. If someone happens to be listening to this while we're still in the vaccination period, go get the vaccine. Listen to me, I'm a medical expert. But seriously. So yeah, and they said that also it was between 22 and 32 days after they were vaccinated, although that doesn't say if it was the Moderna or the Pfizer vaccine. Yeah, so it can be sudden freezing or weakness and facial muscles. It's temporary for most people. It's like a nerve inflammation thing, which I've dealt with nerve inflammation before. I have overuse injury, so it's not as scary as it sounds, but also I would really hope it doesn't happen to me. Anyways, next. Today was day 2 of finals week. It's the only day that I didn't really have anything due. I've already done my Spanish exam, and I think it went well. I had a resubmission for like a theory assignment that I hope also I did well on. I'm hoping to pull off a 3.5 in that class, but it might end up being a 3, but that's okay. And so tomorrow I have a sightseeing assignment. There have been assignments that have kind of trickled into finals week, which is not super cool, but it's unusual times, but also it's not super cool. So I have that tomorrow, and then just practicing horn again because I'm getting myself back up after my break, and then practicing piano. Thursday I have a theory exam that's open all day, so I'm going to do that. And then Friday I have my piano jury exam, what have you. So it's stressful. The other thing I wanted to say was there's still no news on any quintet concert. So that kind of is not great. It still makes me really angry, and I don't have much more to say that I haven't already said. I wish that our work was being recognized, and there's still a chance that it might be, but with each day that goes by and each professor that tells us that they don't know anything about the project, the more I think it was just for nothing. So man, I should have ended on a better note than that. 2020 is almost over. How many days do we have left in 2020? I think it's an interesting cultural thing that we've blamed this year for like being so bad. Only 16 more days. Yeah, until 2020 is over. Like even in music and pop culture and advertising and media and just like talking to people, it's all like, oh my gosh, 2020 is all bad. So yeah, I don't know. I don't really have anything else to say about that other than interesting. I tried a new method of curling my hair and it looks okay, but I tried it because the heat is on the hair for like less time, but you are pulling on the hair more while you're heating it. So I don't know which is more damaging. It's something I tried. I don't know. Okay, I am going to unwind because I have time to do that today, and I want to. Also, this shirt is new. Lots of this has been about my appearance. Let's talk about the shape of my chin. Just kidding. Okay, goodbye. Hello! Hello and welcome to I Still Don't Know How to Work Audio. Today is Saturday, December 19th, and it is 6 days until Christmas. I am a Christian, I do celebrate Christmas, and so that's going to be something that we have to contend with pandemic-wise this year. Who knows when that's happening? It's also only like 12. Yes, it's also only 12 days until the end of 2020. I've started to get grades in because exam week is now over and they all look good so far. I have 3 and I'm waiting on 4 to come in, and they look good. I'm happy with where they are. Yeah. Oh, the other like small thing I wanted to say was I think I mentioned I chose Mozart's 4th horn concerto for my jury piece. It's barrier jury. It's very important to me, my professor, and my degree. I mean, probably not my professor, but like also it's kind of like a measure of like if I'm on track, and I hope that that matters to him. My lips are so dry; they're like sticking together as I'm talking. I'm gonna put this on. You can hear an owl. Really? You can hear an owl. It's really cool. It's like a little like that way from our house. So anyways, so I was talking about my piece. It has a cadenza in it, and I didn't I knew that, but I didn't remember until I agreed to do it. So I'm kind of nervous about it, but I'm also excited though because I've never performed a cadenza successfully, and I've also never written my own, so I don't know if I will be writing my own or if my first instinct is like, oh, I'll just do the Dennis Brain cadenza, but yeah, who knows. So also, I guess in that kind of vein of things, my jury will be very affected by whatever COVID measures are in place then. So yeah. Also, there's a rumor going around that we won't be able to move into dorms until the 16th by order of the governor of Michigan, Gretchen Whitmer. And it's just a rumor at this point. It's not from a very reliable source, but it does kind of make me nervous. As we stand, if we start classes on the 11th, I move in on the 9th. So I have a day and then we start classes. We won't be able to start our in-person music classes until I think it was the 25th was the end of the quarantine period. I don't know how practicing, I keep like seeing my fingers. I'm like sitting up, I'm like this. I have a really bad camera angle just recording on my laptop. So I'm like kind of like leaning forward with my forearms on my desk and kind of like slouching. Anyways, so I don't know how practicing will be handled at that time. Also, the semester ended and I didn't do a video diary yesterday because I was just out of it. Turned in my piano jury. I had theory and some sight singing due the day before that, and then just like a whole mess of stuff that week. And yeah, according to the grades I've gotten back, some of them were in classes that had a final exam, and apparently I did well. So that's good, but I'm still waiting on some that I'm kind of nervous for. So my overall thoughts about this semester are that I don't know how to summarize everything I've said in this video diary into one little succinct package, but I think making this is kind of a good record of my thoughts about this semester. Although I will say that on days when I am feeling especially down or negative or depressed or anxious, or it's kind of been my gift to myself to not record on those days, and just kind of focus on what I have to do to get through the day. So I do think that this video diary, so far, as negative as it may seem, is a rosier picture of what my situation actually has been this past semester. Rosier than what my reality was, if that makes sense. Also, hi from the future. That doesn't fit the somber tone of this, but if you're watching this, things have gotten better from here, so okay. Enjoy the rest of December. I'm not super sure how to articulate it. I think maybe it's a feeling and experience that will, I know it's a feeling and experience that will only be, truly known by people who live through this and are kind of in the same stage of life as me. Obviously, we're all having different experiences, but there's some big veins of similarity. Yeah, I guess I don't really super know what I'm trying to say. I guess as a general rule, it sucks beyond imagination. I remember in middle school, I don't know if it was just my age group or if it was that time in the culture in general, but zombies were really big and post-apocalyptic stuff, and I remember reading books or hearing about books and TV shows and movies and all of this stuff about pandemic type scenarios, and they weren't realistic, but we would have conversations about what would you do and what would and you can't imagine, and I can't imagine if this was worse. I can't imagine if we didn't have the technology and the science and the medical expertise and care that we do now. I can't imagine how this would have, I can imagine, but I don't want to imagine how this might have turned out. Also, maybe if we had better there's always if we had better leadership, if China had better leadership, if we had listened to apparently there were a lot of scientists saying that a pandemic was coming. I don't know if that's true or not, but if that was the case, maybe if we had taken that a little more seriously. There's always what ifs. And I might still be in college, and I might still be making greater progress on my music, and I might, not be feeling so much of the negative emotions that I've been feeling that I wish I could stop feeling. But again, I don't think that it's healthy to dwell on that kind of thing. It's hard to not dwell on that, but I need to put lip balm on really bad. Anyways, I was hoping that I could bring this semester to some sort of conclusion, or here are my ending thoughts, but honestly, I don't know. I'm gonna go put lip balm on. Right, bye. Hi, it is Wednesday, December 23rd. I felt kind of awful these last couple days, mentally, but I thought I would film today, just cause there's news. Woo. So finally I published my brass quintet's fall recital piece onto our public YouTube page, and it's gotten 4 views in a couple of hours. 2 of those are mine, also making sure that they work. So not even everyone in the quintet has watched it, which is fine. We're all very sick of it. So that's one thing that happened today. Also, tomorrow's Christmas Eve, and I'm gonna do an entry tomorrow because I feel like I haven't gotten a lot for December. I don't know if that's actually true, but I'm trying to spread this out. Also, hopefully I will look better tomorrow. Although my bangs have suddenly stood up and made themselves presentable, so I really want to cut them because they're usually more layered than this, and they're kind of like weighed down, but I don't want to cut them too short. So Monday, so 2 days ago, when I felt not well enough to film, my like kind of gift to myself, especially this month, has been, if I don't feel like sitting down and talking to my laptop camera for 15 minutes, then I'm not going to. Yeah, so on Monday at about 5:30, we were sent an email, and I think I mentioned that I had been hearing rumors, and my grandparents were calling my parents and like, hey, is there any substance to this rumor that you can't do in-person classes in the state of Michigan until after a certain date, and like the date would change with who was saying the rumor and whatnot, but apparently it had substance. My arm just slipped. Apparently it had substance because we were sent an email from President Stanley's office. Dear Spartans, on Friday, state leaders announced that Michigan colleges and universities need to delay the start of online and in-person course instruction in the spring semester to help slow the spread of COVID-19. And we've agreed to this request, as have our peer institutions across the state. Health is really important. We're on the virus's timeline. They put counseling information, which, I think that they're going to be flooded with people. I started using them, and I've, had a really good experience so far. Okay, I want to say that this is all just what undergrads are doing, and I'm an undergrad, and this is about my experience. But they do mention that graduate programs are on, quote, different academic calendars. So I don't know what that means, but I also don't really need to know what that means. So basically, can you hear the wind? Oh my gosh, it's so strong tonight. I should look up wind speeds. Okay, my weather app just says windy. 32 kilometers per hour. Let's convert that to miles. Okay, so almost 20 miles per hour, which is not like huge, but it's like, for where I live, it's very strong wind. So here's what they've said about the semester. This is all verbatim from the email. The undergraduate semester will start January 11th as scheduled, but with a, quote, reading, reviewing, and reflection period that does not include any online or in-person class instruction. Faculty are being asked to provide students with syllabi and course schedules to allow students to have this week to prepare for the semester. This start date also ensures financial aid will not be impacted or delayed for those who need it. Students do not need to be on or near campus for that week. This is a unique approach, and we hope that the extra time helps students best prepare for the upcoming semester with additional planning and reading. Undergraduate classes officially began Tuesday, January 19th, with online instruction only, and undergraduate classes scheduled to be in person will also start online January 19th, and then transition to in-person beginning January 25th, which I believe was the date that we had been told previously. Students living in residence halls will start moving in Friday, January 15th. There are some exceptions to this, including international students, people who, well, they give that. It doesn't apply to me, but basically I think they're being pretty decent to people. But the vast majority of our on-campus students will move in starting January 15th and throughout the remainder of that weekend. And I think it ended up being that Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday you could move in. I believe I'm moving in on... I don't want to tell you when I'm moving in. Then the rest of the email is stuff that we already knew, and then just a thank you for, being resilient and being responsible. Oh, also, they're not giving us spring break, but there will be wellness days on March 2nd and 3rd and April 22nd and 23rd as like a replacement for that kind of break. So, what a weird thing. I couldn't, it sounds like a joke. Reading, reviewing, and reflection period, a week long. Oh my gosh. I guess I'm glad to have another week to like pack for school and stuff. But here's what I think they're doing. I think that they are waiting 2 weeks from New Year's because that's just going to be a time when people party a lot. And, you know, the 15th is 2 weeks from New Year's, and that's when we start moving in. So it's much safer, I guess, than what we were going to do. But it's very weird that we're not having online instruction. I guess that they didn't want to have people start and then have their first week and then be uprooted and have to just like boom start into dorm life, because they're focusing on letting new students in. So I have a new move-in time and everything else is fine, I guess. Man, it's a odd thing, but also at the same time it makes a lot of sense, I guess. So that's that, I guess. Well, you know, I don't even know what to say. I will come up with more things to say about it in the coming weeks, I suppose. The only other thing that's really happened since I last did an update was that all my grades came in and I passed all my classes, and I'm very happy with all of the grades that I got. So that was good. That was an encouraging thing. That, you know, this semester has been hard, but academically it doesn't seem to have affected me too much. So I can only hope that it doesn't affect me playing wise too much also. So, okay, well, it's already kind of late. I have a friend who is in the military and she's at basic training right now, and one of her favorite bands released a new song, and I wanted to transcribe the lyrics for her at least. Maybe like a main melody too, although I know she doesn't have access to instruments to play it on right now, and send it to her in a letter because she doesn't have access to like her phone or anything. And they also announced a release date for an album, so I wanted to like give her that news. So I think I'm gonna go do that for her and write that letter. So yeah. Okay, probably see you tomorrow or Christmas Eve, Christmas, and whatnot. I want to do a rundown of what we usually do, what my family usually would do, and what we're doing this year instead. I believe that we're being safe, and we've actually asked some doctors and nurses because I have a cousin who is immunocompromised, and they've said that as long as we are careful and follow the instructions that they give us, we should be able to at least see each other. So that's good. So okay, I'm gonna go write the letter and probably do some video editing. Goodbye. Hi, it is Thursday, December 24th, 2020. It is Christmas Eve, and I don't even really want to know where to start. I guess, so a few days ago, my aunt and uncle and cousin from Iowa would have arrived here. We would have spent time with them. And then today, I would have been in a Christmas Eve service, playing in my church orchestra, which always seems to put a kink in everybody else's day, but I feel that it's a worthy thing to do. And then we would have had dinner as a family, and we would have done that beforehand, and we would have opened presents, maybe a few. We would have opened presents tonight. See, I can't even remember what we would have done. So we would have opened presents, eaten dinner, and then I would have headed off and been in that service. So then tomorrow what would have happened is we would have gotten up and opened some more gifts, and then my dad's side of the family, so the family that we spent Christmas Eve with, my family from Iowa and my grandmother, would come over and we would have like a breakfast. Then we would all And then, why am I having so much trouble with this? And then after that, we would have packed up and gone to see my mom's side of the family. So, my grandparents and my aunt, uncle, and cousins that all live in Michigan, we would have gone to my grandparents' farm and probably hung out there for at least 2 days with everybody there, but hopefully 3 or 4. And then my aunt, uncle, and cousins would probably leave. He's a pastor, so there's always work for him to do. And my family probably would have stayed with my grandparents possibly up until New Year's. We usually stay for a long time. So what happened instead was, it doesn't feel like Christmas, first of all. It just really does not. We went over to my grandmother's on my dad's side of the family and watched a live streamed church service. Obviously, I didn't play in it. And my aunt, uncle, and cousin from Iowa are still in Iowa. They are on their own this year. And we opened a few gifts, and then we came back home. Obviously, we're not eating together. Tomorrow she's going to come over again. We're going to open the rest of our gifts to kind of stretch things out. But we're trying to meet like in between meal times and like, just because we can't really be outside because it's very cold. It's actually snowing right now, which is kind of cool. Maybe we'll have a white Christmas. That would be nice. I always enjoy when there's snow on Christmas. So that's going to be it. And then on the 28th, my mom's side of the family is going to meet. So same order this year, but there's a weird gap of about 3 days. We're only going to be there for a few hours, and everything is just going to be super condensed. We all live far enough away from them that we pretty much have to eat while we're there. So they live in a farm. They have a small barn on their property, and so we are going to have some food out there, like mostly just kind of like snack stuff, but also some more substantial dishes. And so people will go out maybe as family units, maybe as just 2 or 3 people, and to go outside for a few minutes to eat, because as long as we stay 6 feet apart outside, it should be safe to take our masks off. So we're doing that to get by in terms of that. So that's this year's plan. That's about it. It's snowing pretty good. Let me look and see if it's going to continue for a few more hours, and it's supposed to stay cold. So maybe we'll have a little dusting of snow at least on Christmas. The other thing that happened today was I had a dress on that I last wore over a year ago at a brass choir concert that our honors brass program put on. It was like a holiday concert. It was weird, especially because it was such a performance dress for me. So I hadn't worn it until tonight. We dressed up just to like do it because that's kind of our tradition. Yeah, I don't know. It was really odd, I haven't missed performing in a while. Like, I've just been so busy with school that it hasn't occurred to me that I'm not performing right now, but that just kind of like brought all of those feelings back that I was experiencing, more early on in the school year, that, there's something huge missing from my life, and I don't know when it will come back. Yeah. So Merry Christmas. The vaccine chugs along, and no more news from MSU. So at this point, that's a good thing. Man, December is coming to a close, but it just really doesn't. It doesn't feel like it. The end of December is usually such a stressful time for me, and it just, has felt like just another month. All right, that's it for today. I'll see when I do my next one. Who cares? All right, bye. This was one of my Christmas presents. It's whole symphonies. On the off chance that you're a horn player and you're like listening to this, this is what it's called. I've only had it for a few days, but it's already so useful. It was a Christmas present from my parents. Anyways, so the last entry I did was on Christmas Eve, and now it's Monday, December 28th, and today we had my mom's side of the family's Christmas thing, which was very abbreviated. So the Christmas season for me is finally over. It was weird. It didn't feel like Christmas. It was awesome to get together with people when we could and, work around not being able to share meals and having to socially distance and wear masks all the time. And it was as good as it could have possibly been given the circumstance, which I will absolutely take. It is also, let me look to make sure that I'm saying this right. Yeah, there are 3 days left of 2020, and that also just seems so surreal, and I do not know how I'm going to end this diary entry and this year. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, I have to write a letter to my friend who's in the military. I should do that tonight, but I think I'm going to do it tomorrow because it's already kind of late and I'm kind of tired. Oh, that's one thing that I haven't recorded yet, but it is very true. Going outside of the house is exhausting. It's not necessarily even being with public. It's not necessarily even being with public. It's like having to carry on a conversation with people almost, but that's not really it either. It's just like doing things that were normal before this whole thing happened are just really exhausting. And I feel like I've become, and I don't know if this is related or not, but I feel like I've become a lot more sedentary over the course of this pandemic. And I know that part of that is due to my mental health, and I should fight that a lot more than I have been. I haven't exercised in like a month, which is not good, but I just don't want to do anything. I want to crawl into bed and sleep until this whole thing is over, or just not get out of bed until this whole thing is over, which is ironically how I spent the first month of our lockdown in Michigan, because I had mono and I literally couldn't stand up for several days or like a week without help. It was crazy. So I don't really have anything else to say tonight, so I'll tell you this story about when I had mono. So I have a dog. His name is Buddy. I don't think he's been in this month's video diary, but if you go to the October video diary from 2020, he is in there twice. He interrupts one of my entries, and so it kind of becomes about him, which I'm sure he loved. And also the last entry of that video, so if you skip to like the last probably 10 minutes or so, that's all him because that was the 10th anniversary of when we got him. He's such a good dog and I love him so much. He's always very, concerned whenever any of us are sick or just like not acting normal. And when I had mono, he would stick in or close to my room and was like, whenever anyone came in to check on me or anything, he was always there and like just very an awesome dog. And it always makes it better for me, at least, to have him there when I'm feeling crappy. So I forget, I remember it being kind of dark, but I also don't have a lot of memories from that time. My memory is very spotty from that whole 2 or 3 week long period where I first had it. But I remember that my mom had come in for some reason, and so Buddy was also there. and I, without warning, projectile vomited all over Buddy. And oh my gosh, I feel so bad about it, but I like had no control or knowledge of what I was doing, and so he just booked it out of my room, out through that door which is behind me, which leads into a hallway. And my mom was like, oh my gosh, he probably just got vomit everywhere. But he was just kind of standing there not knowing what to do when she found him. So and I really have no memory of that. But yeah, I guess it was fine. And like, they gave him, I don't even know what they did to clean him up. So for like a week after that, Buddy would kind of like hang out by the doorway of my room, but he would never come in. And when I started getting better and I would like, pet him and talk to him again, then he was like, oh, okay. You have control over your bodily functions now. I can come in. Anyways, I don't know how many more entries I'm going to do. I am having some issues with my schedule, so I don't know if I'm going to talk about that in detail. It's very like mundane, would be happening even if there wasn't a pandemic kind of stuff. And I haven't gotten any more information from MSU. I have to check my housing email though that I got today. Oh, this might be significant, so I'll still be recording while I look at this. So this was at 10:56 a.m. today. Okay, so that was just a sign up reminder, so it's all good. The other big thing that's happening is I'm gonna start packing for school. A lot of my Christmas presents from my family were like back to school kind of things, which was really great to get. It was really nice of them, and it kind of got me into, for lack of better word, the like spirit of going back to school. Like, it sounds weird and kind of cheesy, I guess, to say, but I guess it just got me thinking more about going back. So most of that will probably be in my January diary. So all right, goodbye. Hello. It is Thursday, December 31st, 2020, and this is the last sunset of 2020. It's currently 5:23 p.m., and I'm going to be doing probably multiple of these throughout the night, or at least including a video of me counting down with my family. I'm not really sure which, but it's an exciting night. I keep seeing people saying things today about, oh, the reason that everybody's excited for 2021 is because people think that life is just going to go back to normal, and I know that that's not the case, unfortunately, but I think it's more of just a powerful symbol and a powerful milestone for a year that has been powerful in a really negative way. So, if we can move on, that will be great. I also wanted to just kind of put it out there that I've also been seeing a lot of people saying like, oh, they survived 2020 as a joke, but this year it's not so much of a joke, as it would have been in years past. A lot of people lost loved ones, and I just, so I think it's weirdly insensitive of people. Hi, happy thunderstorm season. I'm editing, and I wanted to jump in, even though I've jumped in a lot this month, and say that I'm fairly sure that I have said something similar to that, kind of half jokingly. I really shouldn't be making those jokes, especially since I'm criticizing people who are making those jokes. Especially, it's August. It's mid-August, especially in the light of what's happening now. I'm very sorry that I spoke like that at that point in the pandemic. Or if I speak like that in future entries. I don't really remember everything that I have said in the past several months, but yeah, I just wanted to jump in, and I know I'm a hypocrite. Okay. Here's past me. But yeah, So usually for New Year's, my family and I will have like a nice dinner. My mom is gonna do steaks, and we made creme brulee for dessert earlier today. It's our first time doing it in like a big pan instead of little individual bowls, so hopefully that goes good. I feel like creme brulee is like the stereotypical like fancy, unattainable, really expensive dessert, but it's not super hard to make on your own. The hardest part is not letting it separate or not having something curdle. But if you follow a recipe and you're really like boom, 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 fast and exact about cooking, it's not, a super difficult thing, I think. But yeah, so I have never really done a resolution for New Year's or for anything. Like, obviously, I have goals, but I guess I could set a goal for 2021, since this is such a unique circumstance that hopefully won't happen again in my life. But I remember my goal by the end of my sophomore year was to audition for at least one like professional orchestra, and I, full well knowing that I wouldn't get the job and that I wouldn't, probably even advance past the first round, but I want to get that part of my life started. I want to start auditioning for stuff. And that, all was postponed in a really weird way, and I wish that I knew how that process was happening this year. But so yeah, my first lesson back with my horn professor, I'm going to talk with him about that. And yeah, just I want that to happen, and I'm going to give myself the whole of 2021 to do that, because everybody's whole life was put on hold. So I took a picture of the last sunset of 2021 that you can see a lot better than that window. My camera is awful. I'm using the camera like on it's a MacBook Air from last year, from 2019. So here's a picture that's better. It's from my phone. Yeah. So other than that, I don't have a lot to say. I don't like have a New Year's ritual or anything. When I was little, like starting like first grade or something, every year I always had like a little like box or jar or something, someplace where I kept my cash, and I would count it, and I would like, even take catalog of like this many quarters, this many dimes, this many pennies, because it made me feel really organized and ready for the next year, despite the fact that obviously an 8-year-old doesn't have financial responsibility. But yeah, and so then, now I get bank statements, so that's kind of a moot point. Ooh, okay, one exciting thing that happened today was, speaking of money, I ordered an ultrasonic cleaner for my horn, and I'm excited. Hopefully the tank is gonna be like pretty big, so I can put like, the slides and stuff in there. Yeah, I'm excited about it. Like, I can't wait for my horn to be clean. I don't know if I've mentioned this in past diary videos, but one of the grad students that's in our horn studio did a whole lecture on how to clean your horn, and he had this whole section on ultrasonic cleaners, and I was like, oh my gosh, that's so cool. And I got some money for Christmas, and I was like, this I think would be an okay investment. And if it's not, I don't know, I'm still scared that it's not. There are free returns on this particular one that I got. So anyways, I'm excited about that. But I'm gonna take some B-roll right now, because I tried to do this on my laptop, but I accidentally disconnected my mic and stopped recording the video. So the framing is now gonna be off, and it's gonna either really bother me while I'm editing this, or I'm not gonna care at all. I can't know what I'm gonna feel in the future. But I'm gonna take some B-roll of the view out my bedroom window, and you can see that window is still like pretty lit up. So I don't know, it's just weird. Hey! I'm excited. I'm excited for this in the same way that I was excited for like November. I mentioned in my October video diary, which I just edited and published, that this curl is really bothering me. Stop, please. That I was really excited for November just because I knew that stuff was gonna happen in November. I had a birthday, and I knew, at least later in October, that there was gonna be the housing information coming out, that, you know, ooh, am I gonna go back to school? Like, I was just so excited for like something to happen, and I'm feeling that again. Like, the closer I get to actually going back to school, the more real it feels, and it's just a good feeling for that to be real, because it honestly, a lot of this year felt like I was never going to go back to school ever, which was such a depressing and scary thing. Like, I had a lot of people who meant well or were just curious, asking like, okay, how will this affect your career? And I was like, well, like, you know, everybody's career is kind of on hold for now, you know. And people would be like, no, how will it affect your career in 20 years? Like, will people still like go to orchestras? And I was like, yeah, but, you know, in the back of your head, you're like, oh, didn't think of that. There's something more to be nervous about. So anyways, I forgot to mention this while I was talking about New Year's rituals, but like, I get the urge to wear black on New Year's like almost every year, and it's only been since I've been in my late teens and early adulthood, so like probably since the time I was like 16 through now, so the last 4 years. It sounded like a longer time in my head. I'm not sure why. It's definitely not because I feel like we're mourning this past year. I get nostalgic for stuff that happened this past year usually. Like, even now I'm like, oh, I wish we could stay in 2020, which is such a weird, like, where did that come from? But I think it's just fear of change. But I think that the black is because I feel like it's a special occasion and I'm usually performing, and like, I just feel like it's a thing, and I'm usually playing. I just said that, but like, do you understand? Here's a good way to phrase it, hopefully. Most holidays, I am doing something musical that like I'm performing. It's just like a habit for me, I think, at this point. And that happened even this year with Christmas. I was like, I had to stop myself from picking out an all black outfit. It happens on the 4th of July. Usually I want to wear a very dark color, and I'm not sure if it's just because I wear a lot of dark colors or if it's that kind of like impulse of like, you know, oh, it's Christmas, I need to be sitting in a pit in my church and I need to be wearing black. Or, you know, it's Easter, same situation. Or, you know, holiday concerts, black, holiday, black. I don't know. But anyways, it's just an interesting phenomenon. So I'm gonna make a point tomorrow, which is also a holiday, I understand, to wear some other color. Also because I'm gonna be starting my January video diary for 2021 tomorrow, which also has kind of, you know, given me some food for thought, because, you know, when am I going to stop these diaries? I enjoy doing them, first of all, so I don't really want to stop. I also feel that it's like a good record for me to take, because they usually end up being like 50 minutes to an hour and 10 minutes. And so it's a lot of work, but it's also like, I feel like a good sampling of a month to kind of like condense it into like a little hour pocket. And I also, like, I don't know when I would ever watch these again, but then I'm like, well, you know, maybe I will. I don't know. But they're also titled, you know, being a musician in a pandemic. So, you know, will I stop doing them when the pandemic's over, or will I just record my whole career? That would be kind of cool, because, you know, you'd record major life milestones too, and like, so I don't know, it's interesting food for thought. But right now I want to record stuff. I've been having that impulse too with my grandparents. I have been really wanting to record them lately, and I've been really wanting to record like time together with my cousins and like people that I love and have historically had, you know, awesome time and memories with. And I'm not sure if that's like me getting older and realizing more and more that it will go away one day, or if it's like trying to hang on to my childhood too much, although it's not really like a childhood thing. I associate that, kind of feeling of, do you know what I'm talking? I can't express it, but I associate it more with like, also my later teen years. Anyways, I've been wanting to record that a lot lately. So my other theory about why I'm wanting to record that kind of thing is because in 2020, there's been so much less of it. And I wonder if it's because that's brought about a realization that there might be another time like this. And probably there will, if we're just talking about, not getting a ton of family time or not getting a ton of like positive social interaction. Like, I'm anticipating my early career to not have a ton of that, which is fine. It doesn't make me hesitate as much as I'm hesitating now. It doesn't really like make me reconsider any decision that I've made or any anticipation for the future or anything. It just kind of like, I don't know. I don't have to show you. I also thought of recently, and I've had the tab open in Google on my phone for like almost the whole month of December, but I had a kid's book that I can't find. I have a lot of my childhood books in this bookshelf and it's not there, but it was a book called Frederick by Leo Leone. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but it's about a mouse who, while the rest of the mice in his like family or group or whatever are gathering food for the winter, he is gathering, I forget how they phrase it in the book, but he's gathering like sights and smells and memories basically. And they think he's so stupid and, are really frustrated with him that he's not helping them. He's not contributing anything valuable. And then during the winter, he tells them stories of the stuff that they don't have anymore. So the sunlight, the colors of spring and summer, just sensory stuff that goes along with that. And now they're grateful for him. And they're like, oh, you should do this every year. And, everyone lives happily ever after. But it's an allegory for being an artist. And I never realized that. Like, I remember liking the book as a kid, but I never like connected it with, oh, something I knew and loved as a child, and oh, my current career. So I kind of wonder if it's that, like, is it an artist's impulse or is it just a human impulse to, collect and store good cultural things for, later use, even if it's just, your personal culture or your family's culture. Culture is on many levels. And so, yeah, I don't know. So anyways, that got like way off of what I expected this entry to be, but like I'm really glad that I recorded that stuff for later. I do not know how to sum up 2020. I don't know if I'll ever know how to sum up 2020. I do know that I will never again take for granted the ability to perform, because holy shit, what a powerful and awesome thing it is. Look how much darker it's gotten. Oop. I'm pointing at it. Look how much darker it's gotten. Okay, I am gonna go see if my mother needs any help with dinner, because she almost cut the tip of her thumb off a few days ago. And it's really gnarly and I'm getting sweaty just thinking about it. But long story short, I feel bad making her do anything like that without help, so I'm gonna go help her. Thank you so much for listening. This has been a really helpful thing to do. As I said, I'm gonna do it for as long as the length of time that I do it. Okay, goodbye. Happy New Year. Bye. Or maybe I'll see you later. If you're seeing this part, I'll see you later, so just don't. Here's the next part. Happy New Year. Hey, guess what? The audio's about to get weird. I promise that it's the best that I could do, and that I did fix it.
Is it coming down? Is this it?
I mean, I think it's a minute. You don't want to miss it? You were gonna go to bed and now you don't want to miss it?
Well, it's the whole reason I stayed up, so. See, look how small it is. Like this.
Wow, it's really small, yeah.
I see a dude stand next to it in the news story. That thing's
9,
huge.
8, 7, 6. Oh, it's on an ad. 4, 3, 2, 1.
Well done, America.
Yay! Happy New Year. Oh, That was
There's a
fireworks.
gunshot.
See, this is Old Lang Syne.
Hi! Happy New Year!
Nobody knows the
Words. I've never even had to play this song.
No, really?
Yeah. Oh,
my God.
there's New York, New York.
Is that supposed to be Biden and Kamala Harris or something?
I don't know. That was the best lookalike they could find in short notice.
Do you remember that movie? I think it was called Survivor. They had a scene where it was the New Year celebration. They filled the ball with hydrogen and they blew it up, and I don't remember why.
I do remember
You-
that
it was
movie.
like,
Oh,
and I don't think
bunch
they
of people
ever
pulling
ended up
down their
doing it.
masks and
I
stuff.
mean, look at him. You think that's a
Oh,
smart
it's his little kid. We'll forgive him.
It's not inaccurate.
I liked watching the ones from around the world.
I did
Like,
too.
I would almost rather do that
See,
than...
like, crazy people like this.
Yeah.
The Burj Khalifa one was cool, but the one in Australia was the best in terms of
Yeah,
fireworks.
that was really
Just
cool.
because of the sheer mass of it and how spread out it was.
Yeah, but as Americans, we think ours is the best. Oh my gosh, go home now.
I forget that this is such a downer, too.
American Beautiful. The Down.
Yeah. Do we want to watch anymore?
But don't you want to see Pitbull? That's what's staying up till 2 o'clock in the
That
morning.
was what I wanted all day long.
That would be such a hard performance to
So
do.
what type of music does Pitbull do?
I don't care if I would end up
Oh no!
Oh, and her mask came
My
off.
hat. Oh, my mask. Death.
Wow, so they have to wear like a blue or mask underneath the mask.
I think that that's just like a choice.
Well,
Not all of them have that.
if it's all healthcare workers, I think they would know better than just a cloth
Yeah.
piece with
Oh,
sequins on it.
that's a good
It's
shot.
not much.
I don't know. Sequins would probably stop more than. It's like a lining of plastic. Really, that's the best shot. The cameraman. This would be hard as a cameraman because it's like, okay, we've seen the Planet Fitness things.
Yeah.
Oh, he's filling his pockets with confetti.
He's
He's got a gerbil at home. Oh, now we start the whole diet phase of our year where every commercial and every email.
No, but can you imagine? I'll
Lose
bet
20
you.
pounds in 3 minutes.
I'll bet you the only reason Planet Fitness can afford to have all the sponsoring and stuff like that is because of all the money they make off of just this next week alone. Because all the people making New Year's resolutions,
Right.
like I'm gonna work out, and then
Well,
like
it's
quit their
perfect because
submission
you go
after
in
a
and you
week.
buy 6 months membership and then you go twice and you forget about it, but they keep your money.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's done. It's like,
Yeah. 'Cause, yeah. What time must these people get home?
no, they probably gotta go right back to the hospital.
Yeah, maybe.
The statue should have a mask on.
Yeah.
Did they make a big mask for the Statue of Liberty? That would have been.
That would have been.
That
really
would be
good.
great.
I wonder if they sell those
That's supposed to
wing
make
sock
me want to
guys.
work out. And there's the one banging his head against the pillow. Bam! Bam!
The fireworks are... They sound bigger than they should be. Where does the ball go now?
You can still see it.
They take it apart in sections because it's mirrored and
Oh.
it goes into a big. It says Fragile on it.
All right, hello again. It is almost 1 a.m. on Friday, January 1st, 2021. I will be doing an entry for the month of January, like, tomorrow, obviously. But 2020 is finally over, and that's that. I don't know how much footage I'm going to include of the countdown, so I'm just going to address some stuff. I mentioned after the countdown that we had watched some New Year's celebrations for other countries, like their equivalent of the Times Square ball dropping moment, and I really enjoyed watching them. Like, they were super interesting and like really diverse, actually. Like, not just because people of different countries were participating in them, but like the way that they were done were really diverse. It was just cool. So if you've never watched, like, Australia's was really cool this year, and the United Arab Emirates one was nuts. But the Times Square one was weird to watch. I'm sure there's footage online if you haven't seen it, but yeah, it was interesting. Cognitively, I know that nothing has changed, but I feel relief and like I feel like what I would imagine a snake feels like when they finally shed their skin. Like, it just, 2020 as a block of time and also a set of numbers and also a phrase is just associated with so many terrible things. It's just nice to have a new year. And I think I was talking about earlier in the day that normally I get kind of like nostalgic for the past year on New Year's Eve, no matter how the year has gone for me. And I thought that was because we were afraid of change. But this is, it feels nice to like, we don't know what this year could hold. That's exciting now. I think for most people, I think a lot of people also are operating under the assumption that it can't possibly get any worse than this year. So hopefully that holds true, and we're able to distribute vaccines quickly and efficiently, and everyone will get one, and we'll all just be back to normal by next week. And I know that that's not going to happen, but it's the first universally hopeful moment, I feel, that we've had in a long time. And that's just really, really nice and refreshing. It's been less than a year since we in the United States have had to deal with this, and it's been a little over a year, globally since it's shown up officially, probably. I was looking at China's stats for the coronavirus, and they've been reporting 0 or very few cases daily since like February of 2020. And that's obviously not true. I read an article yesterday about how they estimate that 500,000 people in Wuhan have had the virus, which I don't know if I've mentioned this, but my dad was supposed to go on a business trip to Wuhan in late November or early December of 2019, which is when the virus started showing up, or when the virus started showing up but wasn't reported on yet. And he told his boss that he, quote, just didn't feel like it was a good time. I have a comb. Oh my gosh. This comb is from Wuhan, China, from, I believe, early 2019. From the last business trip my dad took there before, this whole thing happened. Isn't that crazy? I just, I don't know, it's unfathomable to me that I'm, holding something in my hand that, I don't know, people who handled this have died of the virus, probably. Don't put that in there, that's really cheesy. It's a squirrel, he's got a little nut, and then I don't know if you can see it, but he's got some sort of small crystal for an eye, and it works. I brush my hair with it sometimes. Yay. Oh, you know what? This is from 2018, maybe? So this was maybe from fall of 2018, so a year before. I don't know how much I'm allowed to say, so I won't say the company name, but I will say that there have been some people that my dad used to work with that went away and have not come back. In China, he used to do video conferences with them, and they just haven't come back. So, yeah. I forget what I was saying when I started talking about this. Okay. Well, I've given myself more than enough footage to sort through for December. I started editing November today, and it's 2 hours of footage. So it will take me probably 6 hours to edit, which I can do. That's totally doable since I'm off school. But all right, that's that. Goodbye. Happy New Year. Here's to... I haven't done a toast yet tonight. Here's to 2021. Oh, tap water. Woo. I guess that's it. Yeah. All right. Bye. There's Puppy.
Well, I mean, in my first year here, I kind of wanted to be a policy guy, like Jay or Jay adjacent.
I don't know what you want. What do you want?
I would like to try something in